I won't be spending a lot of time introducing Dr. Khaled Habib because I think he's well known on the one hand, and on the other hand, I think he can make a good introduction of what he has been doing throughout the. I mean, that would be a long introduction, but very, very briefly going over because I've done so many things. But the one thing that we all know is that he's very popular and very effective communicator. This is what I call his real strength. He communicates with people, I mean, in a way that I think is very differentiated and very different in a way. So I would like you to join me in thanking Dr. Khaled Habib for joining us today and sharing some of his thoughts and ideas. Please.
So, beautiful afternoon for everybody. Definitely, I'm honored and privileged to be here today. And I was told that Dr. Magdi Yaoub was here yesterday. I would have loved to see the guys. So I'm so honored to be sharing one event with this like guru, and he's a real role model for everyone. I did not prepare a presentation. I just have some bullet points on my mobile. I'm very traditional, so far away from the idea of creativity اللي احنا نتكلم عليها النهارده. And we're going to be talking in Arabic and English, or whatever you like. يعني. Both, okay. English بتاعي ضعيف برضه. I'm not very good in English, so I'll try to pick my words here. So they tell you that certain people are creative and so on, and they keep telling me you're a very creative person. I'm lousy. I have nothing to do with creativity. Just I was forced to be creative in my life because usually we have this Arabic proverb that says الحاجة أم الاختراع. So you start inventing things because you're in bad need of things to happen. So I'm going to give you so many stories, and then you're going to pick whatever works for you, as long as it is ethical and okay, yani, you can do it. So my first creative action in my life wasn't very ethical, to be very honest with you. I was in school, Port Said School, and we used to have every Monday, we'd have like the PE, last two classes, and then on Tuesday we'd have the drawing lessons. I was lousy in drawing. I hate drawing. I'm very bad in drawing. I never tasted or appreciated anything in drawing. So I would go every Monday. The last 5 minutes of the PE, we're playing football, and then I take the ball, I raise it in the air, I do a double kick, and then I fall on my right arm and I scream. Oh my God, and it's terrible and so on. Next day I come and I'm keeping my right hand in a bandage and so on, and I tell them I cannot do anything today, I'm very sorry. We had in the canteen, we had a beautiful guy, he used to sell millefeuille, gâteau, it was super. So I had a colleague of mine in school, he used to draw very well. So I would give him the gâteau and he would draw instead of me. That was my first creative approach, it worked so well. So I did not draw for the whole year, every Monday, and they were telling me you're incredible. كل اتنين بتتعور سبحان الله. It was heavenly. Didn't really work so well because I remember it was Adadiyya, so preparatory, and the results, end of the year, I got 92%, but in drawing, because I never drew all the year, I got 6 out of 20, which was a passing mark. And if I had these 14 grades, I would have been 99%, I would have been number one on the whole governor team. So I lost. Creativity is not that good all the time, So that was my first creative model. Second thing, I'm an engineer. So you go to engineering because in our time, and that's a big difference compared to where you are, we had no clue about what was going on in the society. So the top colleges, universities like engineering and medicine, you go there, you graduate, and then you realize it's nothing. I worked for a couple of engineering firms for a year. I was going to go to jail for sure. They were stealing things, they were not doing anything with ethics and so on. And I hated the engineering itself, so I decided to quit. So the first way out of it is to work as a sales engineer, selling like chemicals, additives for concrete and so on. I started working, and my first week was quite painful. Salesperson, so you go to meet the guy, so the appointment is 1 p.m., and I have to wait until 1:15, 1:20, and I tell them I'm leaving. قلة أدب. There's an appointment, we have to be there on time. And I leave. The next guy, I go to him and we talk and we discuss the material and everything. He says, that's good. How much is 1 kilo? And I tell him 150 pounds. He says, I have to say it in Arabic. هزها لي شوية. فأنا أقول له هزها لك إزاي؟ يعني مش ببيع طماطم يعني. It's ugly. So the first week I go to my boss, the manager, I remember her name was Miss Samia, And I showed her a report on computer, and that was rare back then, 1991. I met 25 people, and the outcome was zero, nothing. And there was a guy who worked with me in the team. He did not complete his education at all. And he was wearing one of those old Chinese suits, the very brown ones. They don't make them anymore. And he just brought out of his pocket like a bunch of invoices. He told me, can you please calculate how much this is? And the guy was making a sales of £500,000 in 1 week. And I felt so awkward. So I went to Mrs. Sami and I told her, give me my report, please. And I tore the report and I told her, I will not take money for this week. So the next week I would go, the guy would come late, 20 minutes, half an hour, أنا قاعد. الغايب حقته معاه هطلعها على جتته إن شاء الله. The other guy, he tells me هزها لي شوية, تحب أهزها لك لغاية كام؟ أنت مش عارف مصلحتك, I'm with you. I'm going to wait because I have to work. But then I couldn't go on like this. So it was lousy for me. I cannot keep waiting for ugly people I don't like. So you have to come with a creative idea. And then I thought, okay, all those like contractors, they buy the material according to something called specifications. So why don't I go to the consulting firms, the architects, who make the design, who write down the specifications, and convince them with my product. So these consulting firms, beautiful places, elegant, posh places in the country, I would go there, sit with the architects, it's a very nice environment. I would spend hours with them, tell them whatever I have in mind, and they would be convinced, and they would write my material with my commercial name in the specifications. So afterwards, I don't need to go to the contractor, because they will ask for my product. It works. If you want to make it work, it works. It doesn't have to be always working hard. Sometimes you can work smart. And then I moved to another, I've moved in so many companies in my life. I know Dr. Ala didn't want to bother you with this. I've been working in local multinationals. I worked for Vodafone, for General Electric, for Pfizer, for ABB, for Barclays, and it was always restructuring, comprehensive restructuring. I've done things like the Presidential Leadership Program, designing the whole story, and the radio things in the book and so on, but I've learned with my mistakes. So I was working in one of these companies. We were working on exhibitions. So we would organize exhibitions. In the beginning, it was the small carnivals. You know, when you go to the club on Friday, you find these small exhibitions and so on. So I took it to a different level. We said we're going to do big events, industrial, specialized exhibitions, and I would go there and so on. And we did something for printing, for packaging, for plastics, for textile and clothing. It was so big. Our team was very small. And the CEO of the company was a bit like conservative with the money. So he wouldn't like really recruit lots of people. So you have to be creative once again. We wanted to like sign contracts with at least 100 customers. And to get 100 customers, there's something that we call the hit rate. So you have to visit 500 minimum. And we're just a very small team, 6 people. So here comes another creative idea. We sit together as a team and we decide, okay, we're going to make a big campaign in the newspapers. And the big title, if you meet one of those people. So usually you expect, when you see the pictures and such a phrase, they're criminals, right? So you need to look, maybe there's a certain reward if you catch them or something. And we put the pictures of everybody in the team, the 5 people. And then the sentence below, you're going to be a star. You're going to be so rich if you meet any of these people. And I can tell you my team, in no time, managed to secure over 100 contracts. Wherever they would go, people would know them so well. No need to introduce and talk about other things. They became stars, attracting attention in a different way. You don't have to be very traditional. So it works. You work in different industries, and every time you find something different to do. And then I started working for the radio. And the radio was quite a challenge. Because like whatever you do, there were lots of censorship issues. You cannot say what you want. There are always lots of restrictions. And so we came up with this idea for a show called Patagonia. Patagonia is a place in, you know about this? Where is it? Which part of the world? I love it when I find people so well cultured and they read about the world and so on. It's in Argentina. Okay, so it's and I use this name instead of Egypt because the people in Latin America are very similar to us. They think that they're so good and they're the best in the world, while they're not. But they believe that, you know, the famous thing that we find on the cars here in Cairo, the small cars, الحلوة دي من المنصورة, you know these things? The car is totally crushed and the motor is not working, but we think that this beauty is from Mansoura. But Mansoura doesn't have even car manufacturing sites. But anyhow, so I said Patagonia is us. We believe we're so strong, we're جامدين قوي, but we're نيلة خالصين. And so actually we had this show, and I can't tell you up till now, after so many years, so many of the shows that happened afterwards with the stand-up comedies and whatever were built on this show. Whenever they would stop us, we'd tell them, okay, we're just talking about a fictitious country. We did it on FM 95, and then we've done it on Nile TV. And everybody working on this show never took money. We were just making it for fun. And now, after the revolution, so I got the opportunity to do it on the radio in Arabic, not in English. And so it's, inshallah, this Ramadan is going to be the 5th season for Patagonia. And we're making fun of everything. Sometimes you can reach the world with the proper messages you want to use in a different way, in a subtle way. And people laugh, and we laugh about our own problems and mistakes. And then, I told you, I've been working a lot in companies, it's all about restructuring. So the first time, I still remember, the first time I took a real big company to do the restructuring was an ex-public sector firm, and it was in a place in Musturud and so on. And I go into the place, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. I go inside, they shut the gates, and then they take me as a hostage. And they want to use me as a bait in their negotiations with Amn al-Dawla and so on, because they're against all the restructuring that's happening and the privatization and so on. And so you realize you're in real deep trouble. How can you handle? And I told them, guys, I'm coming to create opportunities for all of you and make things happen and work and so on. And they don't believe me at all. I want to sit with you alone. I want to know how good you are. Otherwise, I'm going to fire you. They don't want to come and sit with you alone, whatever happens. So again, you have to come up with a different idea. And so what do people really like in our country? Football? Okay. Let's make a big announcement that we're going to start a football team for the company. And so you find out of the 5,000 employees in the place, 3,000 applying. Out of them, maybe 40% are above 40 years of age. But no problem. I'm going to have an interview with each one of you. So the guy comes to me, you want to see me play? No, I want to talk to you first. I'm looking for a leader for the team. I'm looking for the team spirit. Tell me who you are. Next thing, we're going to do like this big campaign. We're going to start like a new acting and drama group. And you're going to be taking part in big events across the whole country, travel and enjoy and so on. So here's another chance to see people individually. And then you tell them, and people love to do this, we're going to do like new campaigning for elections, for voting, for all the different committees. They know committees mean money, mean power in the factories. And we tell them, but unfortunately, because it's a new model right now, nobody from the older committees will be allowed to apply. So the big shots are not taking part, so the young people come up, the young guns, and we see each one of them. Kept playing games for a whole year, and we managed to actually interview and assess 4,500 out of the 5,000. It works. And then you come, and I'm taking you, that was back 15 years ago, but I'll tell you something we're doing right now. We go to the public sector right now, we're doing restructuring in big, huge companies in Hilwan for the military production companies, and so on, in Tag al-Harbi. We've got 4,500 employees in the place, and they tell us, you can never fire one of these people. Everybody has to say. And we say, okay, we have to come up with creative ideas. People are not working. So you go back to data. And that's very important, because at the end of my very short, hopefully interesting discussion with you, how can we make it? You have to rely on data, on real life issues. You need to know where you stand. So we look into everything. We see the age groups. What are people doing? What are the jobs they're doing? How important it is. Is it in the core of the business, or it's just something out of this world? Is it a service worth keeping in the company, or it has no value? And then we look at the people, the age groups, the capabilities, the knowledge, the background, and everything. And then we come up with this idea, okay, we're not going to fire anyone, but we have lots of space around us. We have like 30 faddans in the place, and we have so many feeding industries for the factories. How about making like small and medium enterprises? How about coming up with 1 million small projects for these kids? We need 1,500 to leave the jobs. We don't need them in the jobs. They can start all these private projects. And you go to a place like the SMEs, Gas and Mashru'at, and you sit with the people over there. They're so enthusiastic about it, they're willing to come. And so we have a team in no time, somebody from the ministry, somebody from the factory, and somebody from جهاز تنمية مشروعات, and they're sitting together. We're not going to fire anyone. We're going to add more projects. And back to, I had a beautiful discussion with a guy over here, Michel. He was telling me before, how can you do things for the real value of the people? And you're going to minimize your imports. You're going to save hard currency. You're going to make people really working instead of hiding in the dark because they don't want to be seen sitting doing nothing. It works. And usually the ideas come from the life around you, from the real environment you're living in. But then it's not that easy usually to assess people in a formal setup. And so we come up with this another idea, and it's about assessing people through something we call casual or incidental learning. So when are you really just being yourself? You're so natural, you do whatever you want. When is that? With friends? With family? Playing sports? When you're playing sports, you don't think a lot, right? How many guys here play football? So when you're playing, you're not really focusing a lot on putting on a smile or just being yourself. Your real character shows. So I came up with this idea once, and I was working with a group of managers, middle managers in banks, and they were very tough, and I was supposed to assess them. I failed in every way. So I told them, guys, let's play football. When they started playing football, in no time, the mask starts falling. Every mask you're wearing, it leaves. In the beginning, you're winning, you're so good and nice, and a team player, يلا يا رجالة حديد شدوا حيلكم. And then you start losing. In the beginning, okay, يلا يا جماعة شد حيلنا. Then after a while, لم نفسك يا ابني بقى. تقفل الحتة اللي انت العب راجل شوية بقى. And then you're losing more and more. You start making fun of the whole team, and I'm not part of the team, and so on. And then you really lose your patience. But other people are good enough. Other people would like cover for you when you make a mistake. Other people really stay with you in the difficult time. And you're so good as long as you have good health and good fitness. When you lose your breath, you start being lousy. I see you in all the different situations. I remember we finished this beautiful day. And then there was this guy, and I told him, you're this type of person who takes decisions very quickly. He said, yes, I usually take decisions very quickly. I told him, what's your job, sir? And he says, I'm a credit manager in a bank. And I told him, I guess this would be a bit dangerous. And how did I get that? The guy was simply playing wherever he gets the ball from. He decides what's he going to do. I'm going to shoot no matter what the situation is in front of me, or I'm going to dribble. But he doesn't really think about his decision. He's taken the decision already. So I told him, I think this can be dangerous in your area because like you can decide to give somebody credit while he doesn't really deserve it and so on. The guy, he looked at me and said, Khaled, you're still young. You have no experience. I admire your technical stuff and those theoretic things, but stay where you are. Yeah. That was back in 2005. 2008, the guy had his picture in all the newspapers because he was arrested. He wasn't a thief. I knew the whole story, and I met him after he left jail, and the CEO of the bank used his own arrogance. He goes into the room with a businessman, and he tells him, محمد بيه, أنا عارفك أنت عينك حلوة. قول لي الراجل ده تقريبا بيتكلم فلوس قد إيه؟ And محمد بيه, feeling like a real bey, he said, اتكلم في 15 مليون تقريبا. قال له الله عليك, ده أنت عينك ما حصلتش. Vanity, arrogance, you lose. But then you can assess people with whatever ways, not the traditional approaches. I have to take you to a totally different direction right now. It's something that can be really creative also. And I have to say this because one of my colleagues, she works with me and she gives me a hard time because she doesn't believe that I cook well. So many years ago, we were going to Alexandria. We had a friend of ours. He's a relative of one of your professors here, so things went wrong because of her and the family. And the guy said, I'm going to collect all your money and I'm going to make you live like kings. So he takes all the money and we go to the marketplace and he buys shrimps, gambari. But he decides to bring the shrimps raw and we will cook them. Now the shrimps look so big when they're not cooked. When you cook them at home, become very small, very small. And we were 5 young men full of energy and desire for life. So we actually, each one of us would eat a whole loaf of bread, el fino بتاع زمان ده, with one gambari, a very small one. Wasn't nice. And we had like still 3 days until we would go back to Cairo. Our prestige, we couldn't go back to Cairo that quickly. So I remember we were out there in the Unwasin one, And nobody left us any food in the place, which is something, a message for all the families. Please leave food for the kids if you're not there yet. So the kids don't have the money. And so we go there, and all we find is spaghetti. Packets of spaghetti, and nothing else. So we come up with this creative idea. If we do the spaghetti, it's not going to be enough for all of us. And we found a very big pot, too big, حلة يعني مش طبيعية. ما أعرفش كانوا بيعملوا بيها إيه في البيت ده برضه. It was a strange family برضه. But anyhow, so it's a very big pot. So we thought, okay, that's it. We're going to do the biggest macaroni soup ever, spaghetti soup. And you realize when you put the water on the spaghetti, it grows somehow. It's inflated. بتنفش كده ما شاء الله جميلة جدا. I can tell you that 2 packs of macaroni were enough for us to eat for 3 days. And because we couldn't eat a spaghetti soup, we put on it, I remember, there was something called pepanero. It turned out to be like pepper, but a very classy type of pepper. And mustard, and tomato sauce, and ketchup, and garlic, and onion, and of course, like butter. Guys, please try it. I'm going to do it today because I remember it today. The tastiest soup you'd ever eat in your life. And I think we've never forgotten this soup till today. We stayed 3 days eating it. And up till now, whenever we have real bad cold, you do that. Of course, you have to shut down the kitchen for a week when you do such a thing. The smells and everything. And the lemon, of course, and the mustard. It's incredible. You want to survive. And that's very important because we'll always talk about something we call the motive. One final example. And that's very important when you talk about how you manage people. So there was one of these situations when I came back after the revolution. I was working in ABB. ABB is the world leader in power and energy production, electricity and so on. And I did the initial study, where do we stand, which is very important. That's something I'm going to ask each one of you to know exactly where you stand, this personal awareness. So 1 week later, I'm traveling to Dubai. I meet with my boss over there, and I tell him, okay, I have 22 projects, initiatives I have to apply next year. So the guy tells me, I thought you're a guy with experience in multinationals. You're going to fail. 22 initiatives? Definitely you're going to fail. You just work on 1 or 2 initiatives, that's it. So I told him, okay, prioritize. Choose what's more important in these initiatives. And the guy tells me, like, okay, they're all important. What can we do? So I tell him, here is what can really work. The team. Bringing out the best in everyone. I have a team of 18 HR people. Some of them are very junior. Each one of them is going to be a leader of a project and a team member in the other. I'm going to be leading 1 or 2 projects, but I'm going to be a player in other teams. هكون المعلم هنا وهكون الصبي هنا. And my young colleagues, they will be my bosses. We'll give them the empowerment, we'll give them the knowledge, we'll support them, and we'll tell them, if you don't really take it all the way, you're going to lose. That's your opportunity to become a star. I go back to Cairo, and I have this meeting with the team, and it was following one of these events. It went totally wrong. One of my young colleagues was the one responsible for it, and I told them, okay, I'm going to cover up for you for the first time. Moving forward, I cannot allow you to fail. I don't want to fail myself. So we're going to choose something totally crazy. It never works in business. Passionate management. Now, passionate management means you love and you hate at work. Doesn't make any sense. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to work with you with a performance management system. If you do something good, you get a good bonus. You do something bad, you don't get promoted. No, no, no. I'm going to give you the worst of times if you do anything wrong. I'm going to scandalize you. I'm going to give you a beating. I'm going to really criticize you. I make fun of everything. I'm going to make you feel so small. And if you do something good, I'm going to make you the hero of the world. You're going to be the star. You're going to be shining everywhere. I'm going to put your picture on Facebook. I'm going to do crazy things. And I remember this young lady, she came to me, and I told them, think about it, whoever wants to choose which of these approaches. And this lady comes to me after 20 minutes, she says, okay, I decided I want the normal management approach. And I told her no. So she said, you gave us the opportunity to choose. And I told her, no, I'm not going to give you this opportunity. You're going to take the passionate management approach because you've got tremendous potentials. We don't take no for an answer. Don't tell me that any of the kids over here has less capability than anybody in the world. You can change the world if you want. I'm not going to let you lose your career. I'm not going to let you just enjoy being mediocre. You're much better than this. So the girl cried and she told me, I made the mistakes because of so and so. I told her, can you do something about it? She says, yes, I'm going to prove to you. That was exactly 2013. Today, this young girl, she's just 29 years of age, She's a regional manager for one of the biggest organizations for special needs people in the world. She became a star every passing day she would achieve. No excuses. You make things work. If you really want. And that's the whole point. How do people make it? There's a very basic model that we talk about, something we call the ACT. And this ACT thing is awareness, then knowledge, and then training. The first thing is awareness. Where do we stand? They call us a high context culture. High context culture means we never say the truth. We usually decorate words. How many times do you meet your colleague in the morning and you tell her you look ugly today? You do that, guys? صعب دي شويه ها؟ وشك منفخ قوي النهارده، بقول حاجه زي كده؟ اقول لك ما نمتيش كويس، يعني حاجه زي كده مثلا. Whenever you meet a girl, you tell her خسه، ما شاء الله انت خسه جامد. regardless الوضع عامل ازاي، يعني هي العرض عرضين وكل بس احنا ايه؟ لا خسه ما شاء الله. So that's what we do. Now, moment of truth, moment of honesty. Where do we really stand? What are we doing so good? How many hours do you spend on the internet? كم ساعة بقى؟ Average. 6-7 hours. What's the real value coming? By the way, we have the right to enjoy time on the internet. نهلس، من حقنا نهلس شوية، تمام؟ بس how many hours بقى؟ The guys over here, how many hours do you spend? Internet? 6-7 hours. You're doing great things, of course. You have this beautiful girlfriend in Russia. She's chatting with you all the time. You have no clue she's a guy living in Nicaragua, of course. You haven't seen her before, right? You have no clue. So, what value are we really getting out of what we're doing? Do we have a goal? Do we know where we want to go? Do we know what's out there? Have you really explored the opportunities out there in the market? What kind of projects you can do? What kind of what do you really love doing? You love being among people? 2 days ago, I had on my radio show a guy. His name is Bilal Zahran. He's the country director for Bait.com. Bait.com is the biggest portal for recruitment for youth in the Middle East region. And he told me, I used to be a student in governmental schools, مدارس حكومية, and then governmental university. And university, he actually went to كلية آداب قسم آثار. Nothing. يعني no future whatsoever. So he decided, I'm not going to wait for my future to happen. I'm going to make it happen. Going to learn all the skills and competencies needed for the work market. What's out there in the market? I need to see. So he starts going on the internet to see all types of jobs. What jobs gives what kind of money? And then he goes a further step. Okay, what are the jobs in my local environment? What are the opportunities? What's missing? What can I do? Where is the gap? And then he says, I'm going to work as sales. Sales is beautiful. You learn everything. Like what happened with me when I was a sales engineer at the beginning. You meet 1 million people and you understand what's going on. You see different walks of life. You build this super network of relationships. You become someone in the society. And you learn from people. I remember one of these days I was working in a company. I remember the owner of the company, his son graduated from university. So he makes him the general manager next day. And he tells him, keep Khaled with you in front of you all the time. He's very creative. He comes up with ideas every second. And I told him, I don't come up with ideas. I steal them. He says, are you sure? Yeah, I steal them from the market. I move around and I see somebody doing something. I learn, okay, I can apply this in my work field in a different approach, with a twist. That's creativity. Creativity doesn't mean that you come up with the best creative ideas every second. Creativity is putting the right things in the right place, in a certain concept and context nobody other does. It's about lateral thinking. You see it from a different angle. Sometimes being creative is simply doing what we call sometimes celebrating common sense. There's so many answers to everything we do, but we don't do it. As simple as that. How many times would you come up to somebody and tell them like, actually, I'm a criminal, I've done something terrible. They will tell you, you're kidding for sure, you're a great guy. I love to do this, by the way. Whenever I meet someone and I want to play with words, I tell them, I'm very bad. I can use you and I'm a very bad guy. Tell me, I love that, you're so honest. But I'm a very bad guy. Yeah, I'm just putting my neck off the hook, but I'm actually a bad guy. People don't believe simplicity. Sometimes if you do the basic simple things, things happen. So who are you to become this creative person? First of all, before anything, it's this motive. And for you to be motivated, you need to know what's out there. So you look at something, I want this. For this to happen, you need to have this inquisitive mind. Inquisitive mind means, I don't take things as they are. كلمه اللي هي اقفل الراوتر وافتحه دي مش عندي خالص. بيحصل ايه لما بقفله وافتحه؟ What happened? I need to understand. There is something behind it. There is logic behind it. Inquisitive mind. A fire in the belly. I wake up every morning, I have a goal. Please don't spend 1 minute of your life without having a goal. Even if your goal is to waste time. I want you to waste time in a proper way. It happens sometimes. تكون في الطريق مثلا راجعين من الدائري، حد بيرجع من الدائري من هنا، الطريق زحمه واقف خالص، فعايز تكلمي حد في التليفون تضيع الهدف ايه بقى؟ تضيعي وقت، صح؟ عايز تضيعي وقت قد ايه؟ an average. You need to be very specific. عايز اضيع نص ساعه. If I don't have clear goals in my mind, I would call someone. ازيك، عامله ايه، اخبارك ايه؟ تقول لي كويسه الحمد لله. ها قاعده بتعملي ايه بقى؟ انا مش فاضيه لك، يعني عايزه مني ايه؟ انا مشغوله يعني. لكن لو انت دخلت قلت لها انا عايز اضيع نص ساعه، سمعتي ان فلان ساب الشغل بتاعه؟ that's a good opportunity، ممكن نشتغل الشغلانه دي، الحوار ده ياخد نص ساعه. سمعتي ان فلانه اتطلقت؟ ده ياخد 3 ايام تقريبا، الموضوع ده كويس قوي. That's worth the discussion. هقعد بقى الطريق الدائري ودخلت منه على الصحراوي ومش I'm with you بقى. Even if you want to waste your time, have a plan please. Have a goal, specific goal. A few days ago I was sitting with someone وجدع ده متحمس جدا من الشباب المتقاعر اللي فاهم كل حاجه. قال لي حضرتك مشكله بلدنا كده، كلام ما فيش. البلد دي ما عندهاش تخطيط. قلت له لو سمحت اكتب لي اهم 3 اهداف بالنسبه لك. قال لي الحقيقه ايه اللي هو ايه؟ يعني لسه شويه جاي في سكه. قلت له فانت عايز البلد اللي حضرتك المثقف المتعلم اللي فيها يبقى عندها خطه وانت اساسا ما عندكش؟ Whatever we're in is the collective wisdom of the society. الحكمه المتجمعه بتاعتنا هي الحاله بتاعتنا. لو انت شايف البلد دي تعبانه قوي يبقى تعبان عشان انت تعبان قوي. لما كل واحد فينا يعمل الحته بتاعته يبقى عنده حاجه مهمه جدا، circles of influence، دوائر التاثير، كل واحد بيأثر على 5 6 اللي حواليه، البلد دي كلها بتتغير. People come up with creative ideas and they make them work. Creativity is nothing without implementation, without making mistakes, without trying, going all the way, the extra mile. Try and then reflect, sit back and look كده and think, okay, I can do something different. Okay, I made a mistake. It's my fault, nobody else's fault. The easiest thing on earth is to blame others. One final small story I will tell you about this, because sometimes to make this happen, you need a very important ingredient. This motive needs a very important ingredient. I was working for Vodafone. My boss was Hani Mahmoud. He was one of the top guys. He was a minister before, and right now he's the CEO or chairman for Vodafone. And I remember after 1 year, he sits with me and he says, "Congratulations, Khaled, you've been promoted." Yes, but here is a warning: you're going to be fired in 6 months. Ya ragil, I've just been promoted, yani. He says, "I want you to stop talking." Are you serious? Yes, you go into meetings and you talk a lot. But sir, the guys are not good. My colleagues are saying lousy stuff. And my job, I lecture and I train and I do radio shows. My job is to talk. I love to talk. And the guys are very bad. And they spend hours saying nonsense. مش عايز وقت يعني. يمين شمال قال لي بص يا ابني هو كده انت مترقي النهارده بس لو استمريت في طريقتك دي 6 شهور مش هتكون معانا في المكان. Now that was bad, and I wanted to survive in the place. So I came up with this very simple idea. You know the stress balls? الكور بتاعت الضغط دي. I destroyed 6 of them in 6 months, ما شاء الله. I would go into the meeting, and whenever I want to talk, I would بكل عنفوان والطاقة اللي عندي مش طايق الدنيا بقى بسمع كلام فارغ. And then I go home and I would bring my wife and my 2 kids. انت هتلعبي دور فلان وانت هتلعب دور فلان في الاجتماع. وهو بقى قال كذا وانا عايز اقول له يا حمار اللي انت قلته ده يودي في داهيه. كارثه بقى. فضلت كده for 6 months. End of the 6 months I got a second promotion. ليه بقى؟ The best learning experience in my life. I learned to listen. And then you realize that people know much more better than you. They're much better than you think. I started really to listen. مش مستنيه يخلص كلامه عشان أتكلم. When you listen, you learn from their ideas. You build on them. When you listen with a heart, they see it in your eyes. بيحسوا إن أنت بتسمعهم بجد بقلب. ولما بتسمعهم بقلب، هم كمان بيسمعوك بقلب. بيحبوك. بيسندوا أفكارك. And besides الحاجات الجميلة دي on a Machiavelli level كمان، لما بيتكلموا بعض الأوقات بيبان لمديرك أنت أفكارك أحسن. You don't lose. You win on every different angle. إيه اللي خلاني أعمل كده بقى؟ ايه اللي خلاني اصبر؟ I have this goal. I have the motive, something I really want, where I put all my heart, the passion, this fire in the belly. كلنا بنلعب رياضة بانتظام هنا؟ مش قوي يعني، مش كله يعني. بس لو طلعنا بره ولقينا كلب بولدوج من الكبار دول هنعمل ايه؟ ابطال العالم طبعا، جري رهيب. ليه بقى؟ What's the motive? عايزين نعيش. We want to live. Please, don't leave your bed every morning if you don't have a goal. And if you find yourself staying at home a lot, there's a big problem you have. In a place like our country, you've got every centimeter an opportunity. As big as the gaps are, as big as the opportunities are. We have opportunities non-stop. You need to work, try, explore, make mistakes, and then sit back at the end of every day, lay back, take a step back, and reflect. What has really happened? This personal awareness. Personal awareness that makes you link things you've never thought of linking. I have here one of my students in the university, and I used to give them this example about the awareness, and that's the last thing I'm going to tell you, I promise. When did you ever realize the importance of dandruff? قشر الشعر. امتى خدتوا بالكم ان دي مشكلة يعني؟ Did you ever imagine it's a problem? قشر الشعر? Dandruff? Never. You think that قشر الشعر is something very nice. هي زي العزوة، حاجة بيضة حلوة كده على الكتف ومش عارف ايه. And then you watch the TV ads for Head and Shoulders, right? What do they tell you about قشر الشعر? They did not tell you it's a kind of disease. By the way, it's a disease. هي حاجة بتضر الجسم، يعني بتاخد من طاقة الجسم كده. Did they tell you حاجة زي كده؟ They tell you that قشر الشعر ده بيمنع البنات الحلوة انها تعجب بيك. صح؟ لأنك أول ما تستخدم الشامبو بيحصل إيه؟ بنات زي القمر بتبقى حواليك على طول يعني. عايز أسألك كام حد فيكم ما شاء الله لما استخدم يعني هيد اند شولدرز فرقت معاه؟ حصلت يا شباب ولا؟ البنات هنا اتأثرتوا بحد لما استخدم هيد اند شولدرز؟ مش هو ده المقياس قوي. بس they make tremendous links. You'd never think that these things work together. You see a bigger picture, and somehow it works. You can make any links on earth and it works. I'm talking about a product that's number one in the world in its field. They're selling with hundreds of millions of dollars. Where's your input? Where's your different touch? You're going to be a different person. Every one of us is unique. There's a beautiful Chinese proverb that says every human being is a kingdom. كلنا عندنا إمكانيات غير طبيعية. مملكة، كل واحد مملكة، بالدروب، بالشعاب، بالطرق، بكل حاجة. How much are you exploiting out of this? If you don't use it, you lose it. So please, go out, grab the world, try, explore, make mistakes, try different things, discover where your fire is, where your passion is, and you can definitely change the world. They tell us that the Shanghai effect, if a butterfly just moves its wings in Shanghai, it's going to cause a storm in New York. Go out and change the world. Thank you for your patience. I've been talking too long, and I'm ready for any questions. Thank you very much. Please. طيب برضه to be very realistic، البني آدم ده عمره ما هيحس بالحاجة اللي لو طلعت منه. بس one of the problems ان انت دايما بتبقي جنب البني آدم ده عمالة بتحاولي معاه but even if he doesn't respond at all, you're still there. People need to realize what they would lose if they don't change. And you need to be serious about this. You need to cut certain privileges this person is getting from your presence. I had lots of my friends, they used to be in drugs and so on, and they would come to me every month ولا 2 months يجي يقول لي أنا مش طايق نفسي وأنا عايز أتغير، وأنا أقعد أزعق له شوية وأشجعه شوية ويرجع تاني للمخدرات. لغاية لما في يوم من الأيام جاي يتكلم معايا ما لقانيش. This is when he stopped. طول ما أنا كنت بالنسبة له زي مسكن أو يعني بيسمع كلمتين ويرجع تاني. No, yes. I would love that you really show these people they're going to lose you. Lose whatever privileges they're getting في الوضع اللي هم فيه دلوقتي. هم as long as they're happy where they are, they will never change. Any questions? Please.
My question is about evaluation or assessment. How can you assess creativity? Okay.
So the first part of my career and my master's and so on was in marketing. So I teach marketing, integrated marketing communication. And we teach creativity, and there is a checklist, okay? For how creative the TV ads are. 10 questions. You answer 9 of them, and they're all very positive responses, which tell you that's creative. It did not work in the market. It's not creative. Creativity is when things work. Final example, a very quick one over here. There's a famous book called 100 عام العزلة, 100 Years of Solitude, Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And they were a small place called ماكوندو في وسط المستنقعات. بيجي لهم الحواة والغجر بيعملوا زي سيرك عندهم، بعدين بيبيعوا منتجات. فجابوا لهم حاجة بيبيعوها، مراوح القديمة اللي هي المدورة دي وجواها الريش دي. البلد دي ما فيهاش كهرباء، فهم مش عارفين يعملوا بيها ايه. راحوا لزعيم القبيلة دي وقالوا له انت اكيد جامد جدا فاهم، قول لنا دي بتعمل ايه. خد المروحة ودخل جوه قفل على نفسه وعمال بقى هيتجنن. اقول لهم ايه يعني؟ انا جاهل، انا مش فاهم مش فاهم ايه كهرباء اساسا. لغايه لما صرخ فجأة بحماس شديد وخرج، قال لهم عايز اشيل الكفر اللي بره ده، وشال الريش اللي هي المدورة دي، قال لهم هاتوا لي لحمة نية. وحط اللحمة وجاب الريش دي وبدأ يلفها على اللحمة. قال لهم دي احسن من السكين، عشان السكينه في اتجاه واحد بس، دي عشان كيرفد كده فبتلف بشكل احسن، ممكن تقطع اللحمه باشكال كتيره اند سو اون. باعوا كل المراوح in no time. He made it work. Creativity is to make things work with whatever capabilities you have with you ولا around you. All types of resources, including your mind. Any questions? Please.
As a radio host, what were the main challenges that you faced? How different were they from like your career in general?
So the radio is usually my hobby. I usually enjoy doing it. I don't make a living out of it, so that's the beauty of it. So I did not really find any challenges. And usually they shut down so many of my radio shows and TV shows. The challenge was ان انا هقول اللي في نفسي، وبعد ما بقول اللي في نفسي بيقفلوا الحلقه فبقفل. يعني انا في فريند اوف ماين هو دلوقتي ما شاء الله بقى ممثل بقى محترف اسمه تامر فرج، بيعمل حاجات كثيره جميله وكده. ياما قفلنا محطات وقنوات، يعني عارفه بنعمل حلقتين ثلاثه ويقف بعد كده. The only challenge I would face is something lousy, which is when people come to you and tell you انت ازاي ما بتعملش برنامج اكبر من كده ولا تلفزيون ولا غيره، انت يعني جامد جدا. وانا بحس الاحساس اللي هو انا سعيد انك سالتني السؤال ده وما عنديش اجابه خالص. But the only challenge is the frustration related. But otherwise, it's always fun to be among people. يعني being with people is beautiful. And just being yourself here. Any other questions? Thank you very much. I hope whatever we said today is of value. And I ask you one final thing, please. If you have given yourself the chance to attend such a session and spend 1 hour, do one of two things. Go out of this place and go to Dr. Alaa and his team and tell him that's the worst thing you've done ever, okay? I'm objecting to whatever we heard today, it's nonsense. Or if it is of value for you, think tonight for 15 minutes, what can I do different in my life? At least start with writing down the 3 big objectives in your life. If you don't find them, we're in trouble, but we have an opportunity. Thank you very much.